Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will try some numerical problems regarding projectile motion. So, if you want to have clear knowledge about any concept in physics, you must not skip numericals related to it. Here is a simple numerical of NCERT book, example 4.8. A hiker stands on the edge of a cliff. Hiker is a person who climbs mountains. Cliff is the top of the mountain. So the cliff is 419 meters above the ground. The hiker throws a stone horizontally with an initial speed of 15 meter per second. So earlier in projectile motion, we also talked that projectile is a body which is being thrown by giving just initial velocity, and afterwards it moves under the effect of gravity only and by its own. Its initial speed is 15 meter per second and its direction is horizontal, means towards x-axis, neglecting air resistance. What does this mean? Actually, in our atmosphere, projectile motion, air resistance comes into play, and that may affect our calculations of time of flight. Maximum height attained may be different if air is there, and horizontal range may also be different, but the changes will be very small. So therefore, to make calculations easy, we generally neglect the air resistance. The height of the cliff, this thing is given and the initial speed is given. Then find the time taken by the stone to reach the ground. So this is the first thing we need to find. So first we will write the given things. Height of cliff, it is 490 meters, and secondly the initial velocity along x-axis, so it will be ux, 15 meters per second. So we are going to find is the time when it reaches the ground. Ground means it will reach at y is equal to minus 490 meters, because the hiker is standing 490 meters above the ground, and when it throws the stone it will reach minus 490 meters. Secondly, we have to find the speed with which it hits the ground. So we will find final velocity of the stone. So these two things we are going to find in this problem. Let us try to make the diagram. So suppose this is the cliff and its height is ground 490. So here he stands and throws a stone, and suppose that the trajectory of the stone is like this. So initial velocity is given as 15 meters per second towards x-axis. So remember, the velocity component along x-axis will remain the same, because projectile is only under the gravitational force, and gravitational force acts in y-axis only. So nothing gonna change the x component of this velocity, so it will remain same. So ux is 15 meters per second. Whenever the projectile is here, its x component will be 15 meters per second, and when it hits the ground, its x component will also be 15 meters per second. So it will remain the same over whole of the trajectory. So what is going to change is the y component of the projectile. So okay, now we have equations of motion as v equal to u plus at and s equal to ut plus half at square. So using these we will find the values. The motion of this projectile is combination of two separate motions. Separate motions means one is along x-axis and other is along y-axis. we are concerned about y-axis only, because whatever changes is along y-axis. Along vertical is y-axis. V equals to u plus at. So what is Vy? Equal to uy plus ay into t. Vy is the final velocity along y-axis. So this we have to find. So here we know the x-axis velocity, and if we know the y-axis velocity, then we will find v. So this we are going to find. So Vy will be equal to uy is initially at 0, ay is minus 9.8, t we going to find. So this will be our equation number 1. From this equation, if we know time as it hits the ground, so it will be easy for us to calculate Vy. Okay. Now using the second equation, for distance in y direction. Distance in y direction, it has covered minus 490 meters. U along y-axis is 0. So if u is 0, this term, the whole of this term is 0. And minus 9.8 into t square. And minus goes off. 4.9 is the 9.8. So 4.9 t square equal to 490. So this will give me t square equal to 490 divided by 4.9, which will be equal to 100, or t will be 10 seconds. Time taken by the projectile is 10 seconds when it covers a distance of 490 in y direction. Now we will put this time in this equation. So minus 9.8 times 10. So this will give me minus 98 meter per second. So this is my component of velocity along y-axis. So now I have both the components. Final velocity along x-axis as 15 meter per second. Final velocity along y-axis as 98 meter per second. And we are going to find the resultant of these two vectors, which will give me v. Okay, so if this side is 15, so this will also be 15. So in this right angle triangle, either this is perpendicular or this is perpendicular, or one is base and one is perpendicular. So we are going to find the hypotenuse. So v will be equal to 98 square minus 98 square plus 15 square, both under the root. So this will be, you can calculate these two, and nearly it will be equal to 99 meter per second. So this will be our required velocity of the stone, which will be 99 meter per second. This is the concept of doing the problems, that we will consider two separate motions, one along x-axis and one along y-axis. Then we're going to find in what direction we are to find the things. In addition to these questions, if it asks that how far is from the center of the cliff is the stone hits, then we will find the range. Time taken by the projectile to hit this ground will be the same as 10 seconds. So let's do another question. Problem number 4.9 of NCERT book. So here is a cricket ball is thrown at a speed of 28 meter per second. So initial velocity is given 28 meters per second in a direction 30 degree above the horizontal. So the trajectory will be like this. So if it is at 30 degree, so let us make the ground level, which will be regarded as x-axis, and to this axis the ball is thrown like this. So at 30 degrees to the horizontal. So this is our horizontal line. So here is the vertical line. which is our y-axis. So what we're going to find is maximum height attained is the capital H, so the velocity is 28 meter per second. Time taken by the ball to return to the same level. So time of flight. We are calculating, second thing is capital T. And the third one is distance from the thrower to the point where the ball returns to the same level. So means we are calculating the range of the projectile. So it's a simple one. We are having all the three formulas. The maximum height attained, to calculate maximum height attained, we have a formula V naught sine theta naught square divided by 2g. So putting these values, our V naught is 28 sine of 30 degree square upon 2g, 2 times 9.8. 28 sine 30 whole square upon 2 times 9.8. So 28 multiplied 1 by 2 square 19.6. So it is 196 divided by 19.6. So this will give me 10 meters. The maximum height is 10 meters. Now we are going to find the time taken by the ball to return at same level. So the formula is time of flight is 2v naught sine theta upon g. So putting the values, 2 times 28 sine 30 degree divided by 9.8. So 2 times 28 times 1 by 2 over 9.8. So cancels. So we are left with 28 upon 9.8 and 2.9 seconds. So in the same way, we will calculate the range, and the formula is V naught square sine 2 theta upon g. And I think you can easily go through it and you can find the result. So I hope that you will try some more from the exercise of your book. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.